there's a lot of defects showing in buildings now, not just the old buildings, but the newer buildings, which is where I'm probably spending the bulk of my time in defects. And I think the first thing we need to do is identify defects and identify them early. Because as soon as you start identifying defects, you can guarantee that it grows. So you might start with a leak in the garage, for example, and it'll grow. There'll be cracks here, or there'll be windows that aren't fitting right, or there's something with your sliding doors or things like that, which individually don't seem like much, but when you start putting them all together, it starts to build a picture.
Whose responsibility do you think it is to identify those defects? And it probably depends on the size of the building, eh?
Yeah, it does. I mean, if you've got a building manager there, they'll often identify things because they've got the experience with the building. But in the smaller buildings, it's often owners who will identify defects and bring them to the body corporate manager. But generally, it's the building manager who will see something and go, "Oh, that's not quite right. I've experienced that before, so we need to look into it further."
Yep. Yeah. And I mean, it's one thing to identify these defects, but then, you know, what do you actually do? Who do you tell? Like, who's your next port of call? Say, as a building manager, who would you recommend that they go to?
Well, first of all, I think go to your body corporate manager, because a lot of body corporate managers have got a lot of experience dealing with the defects, and they will have people that they work with. So for myself, I have a group of people that I constantly go to because I trust them. I know that they're not going to run away with costs. I've got legal people that I use routinely because I trust their judgment, and experts that you just know that are going to do a good job for the body corporate.
You do end up gathering a bit of a team, because you see these same people sort of, you know, at all these buildings and AGMs and stuff. When they start talking about especially weather tightness, you get to see the same companies or the same types of people around the table. Yep. You know, and I guess it's its own little industry within an industry, isn't it?
It is, and you know, from my point of view, there's good and bad in the industry. And when you've dealt with quite a few building remediation issues, like I have, you tend to weed out the ones that you trust and the ones that you know are good and will give good advice, and will be cost efficient. Because let's be fair, when there's defects identified, it's the owners who suffer.
Yeah.
And also, you know, the value in the building drops instantly as soon as defects are realised, and so you've got to be cognizant of that. So you want people that are going to work quickly as well to try and rectify what needs to be rectified.